In this lecture, we would like to discuss another important development in the field of evolutionary socialism, or some title it as utopian socialism. So, that facet of socialism is better known as guild socialism. So, as regarding guild socialism, the guild socialist recognize the limited role of the state in the great society. They advocate withdrawal of state control from economic sphere, for they discover in state socialism the rule of bureaucracy. The guild socialists want to extend the democratic principle to any and every form of social action, and in special to industrial and economic fully as much as to political affairs, as it was stated by Professor Ernest Barker in his important work, and that is political thought in England. So, the very foundation of guild socialism in United Kingdom or Great Britain was led by Professor G.D.H.Cole. So, G.D.H.Cole is considered as the brightest star in the constellation of the guild socialist. Cole, who made a systematic and sympathetic study of French syndicalism, has ably analyzed and elaborated the maintenance of guild socialism in a series of pamphlets and books. So, he is considered as the founding father of guild socialism in England. So, they emphasized on workers' control in industry, and they emphasized on the limited role of state, and they prepared a very scheme of national guilds. So, as to them, they protest against the capitalist method of exploitation, in which the surplus value the labor produces is pocketed by the capitalist. So, in that case, the present wage system, which perpetuates gross social injustice. So also he pointed out that because of remote and indirect relation between work and reward, and regarding that he expressed that the indirect relation as between work and reward in the modern large-scale industrial enterprise, the incentive to work is considerably damaged and the productive system is known and is thrown also at times into delusion. Also, he expressed that the modern economic system is organized not on the basis of function but of acquisition, and it results in separation of ownership from the service. So modern society is considered as based on accusative in nature. So they work for reorganization of the guilds on functional basis to attain self-government in industry. So Cole observes all true and democratic representation is functional representation. Also, as Guild Socialist points out, the concept of popular control is exclusively confined to the state alone and does not extend to the economic sphere. In modern democratic state, the workers have no substantial control over their conditions of work. So, he was in favor of Industrial Guild Congress, which would produce industrial democracy, where the workers will involve themselves in participation of the management of industry. So also he was in favor of collective bargaining, and he emphasized all the evolutionary methods, and by evolutionary methods, as according to Cole, the very aims of guild socialism would be achieved. So in that connection, Cole expressed that society must contain as many separately elected groups of representatives as there are distinct and essential groups of functions to be performed. So he advocated for setting up cooperative associations or guilds in economic sphere. So in each industry will be managed and controlled by a guild. So self-governing association of mutual dependent people organized for responsible discharge of a particular function. So in this sense, the guild is modified trade union. The trade union is organized for militant purposes. In a hostile society, while the guild will be organized for peaceful purposes in a friendly society, as it was presented by Professor C.E.M. Joad in his modern political theory by analyzing Cole's philosophy of guild socialism. The guild socialist envision a many pillar structure with local guilds at the base and Industrial Guild Congress as at the apex. National Guild into which every vital service of the society will be organized. Intervenes between these two. The Industrial Guild Congress will discharge two most important functions. It will adjudicate on inter-guild difficulties and disputes. So also it will lay down the general principles of guild conduct in the form of general regulations within which each guild would have to work, as it was expressed by Professor G.D.H.Cole in his important work, Guild Socialism. So also, he emphasized on the very theory of encroaching control. So, in regards to that, he insisted that the very problems in industrial structure of modern society is in such a hopeless state of affairs, and all disturbances and anarchy that created due to the problem of modern society and its industrial structure. So he made such a vision of workers' control in industry and also the very limited role of the state. So the very transformation of capitalist structure into the guild system will come according to G.D.H.Cole through evolutionary methods, as they consider the trade unions as those organizations which are more revolutionary in nature. The trade union structure modified should be modified in order to provide for an industrial basis of its membership and greater internal democracy. Their membership base must be broad enough to cover all categories of industrial workers, even including the managerial and technical persons. And as Professor G.D.H.Cole expressed that the industrial workers with their perfect organization will pursue successfully the guild socialist method of encroaching control. So exactly, encroaching control means the privilege of the workers to appoint and dismiss the foreman of the factory. The workers will enter into a collective contract with employer under which the workers organization guarantee a given output and receives a certain lump sum in lieu of wages to be distributed among the workers in accordance with its principles. This evolutionary process of increasing workers' control in industry will ultimately lead to total eclipse of capitalism. The slow but steady process as provided by the guild socialists such as the father of guild socialism, Professor G.D.H.Cole, will enable society to avoid the undesirable and painful path of revolution. So, guild socialism in its theoretical nature has no doubt imparted a new richness and a new awareness to socialist heritage. Modern society is no doubt a pluralistic world, but in the that complex society of today many function in harmony, may function in harmony and without a major crisis. It must possess a unifying will to direct it. So, Professor Maciver, in his modern state, rightly explained and focused that the danger is not that particular interest will not be focused and assorted, but rather that the general will may suffer domination through their urgency. Against this danger, the chief backward in the state because its organization presupposes and in some degree realizes the activity of the general will. So, from the very analysis of guild socialism, we found that they let stress on workers' control over industry and also they emphasized that limited role of the state. So, according to them, the state should let its role of determining the actions exclusively in the field, that is the economic field where state must not interfere. Only state would be engaged in the works of defense, law and order, which are the police function of the state, and all other functions such as the welfare of the modern democracy should be left to the guilds or guild socialists. And to carry out the very work of guild socialism or the ideas of guild socialism, they prepared the very scheme of rational guilds, and those national guilds would determine the self-government in industry, and they would work in an atmosphere by Industrial Guild Congress, which would be involved with national guilds and the local guilds, and in above all, they are in favor of establishing industrial democracy as exactly they wanted to. Workers' participation in management of industry and recruitment of the top officials of the industry into the guilds, and how they emphasized on the concept of encroaching control. So, by that they mean encroaching control means the privilege of the workers to appoint and dismiss the foreman of the factory. So also the workers will enter into a collective contract with the employer, under which the workers' organization guarantees a given output and receives a certain lump sum in lieu of wages to be distributed among the workers in accordance with its principles laid down by the guilds. So, above all, the guild socialist adopted the very approach of evolutionary methods of social change, while the syndicalist adopted violent method of social change. And their method adopted by the syndicalist could be better titled as catastrophic revolution, as they idealized violence. Instead of that, the guild socialists were in favor of industrial democracy, where workers' control would be over industry, and they were also in favor of the limited role to be played by the state, and state would live its role in the field of industry or exclusive in economic field. And for that purpose they prepared scheme for national guilds, and also they formed Industrial Guild Congress. So ultimately, if you want to conclude, they wanted to establish self-government in industries. And as their method of change is evolutionary, so we could say that they were in favor of democracy, and exactly their main intention was to establish industrial democracy through evolutionary methods. So we have completed Guild socialism, which was developed in United Kingdom or Great Britain by Professor G.D.H.Cole. And in our next upcoming lecture, we would like to discuss another important facet of socialism as developed also in England, and that is Fabianism.